Hello, hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Another Wednesday is here. Can you even believe it? I am so glad that you've decided to spend the next hour with me. Thank you so much for your time and devotion to this community. Special hello if you are new here. My name is Brianna. I am the diva behind Diva and the Divine, and you get to listen to me chat for the next hour about whatever comes up. I have a topic in mind for tonight, if you haven't figured that out by the title and the thumbnail. But of course, as per usual, the community comes and gathers and we start conversations, and you never know where the conversation is going to go. I have a couple of questions that were submitted to me today about working out and home and all sorts of things. So let's just get the party started by seeing who is here today. Excuse me while I clean my throat. Andy wins the day for the first comment. Hi, Andy. It is so good to see you. And then Kathy was not far behind. Hello, Kathy. Hope you're having a fabulous day. I love that you guys just have a whole conversation going without me even being here. Lauren is here. Hello, Lauren. It is good to see you. And Julie is here. Hi, Julie. Good to see you as well. Oh, my friends. My friends, I finally feel settled. It's not perfect, and it's still a work in progress, but I definitely feel much more settled than I did last week, where I was a little bit frantic and chaotic and resetting everything. So we're getting back in business, and today was actually day one. Thank you, Lissa. Hello, Lissa and Paulette. I saw you sneak in here too. This is a gift from my sister-in-law, Kristen, for Christmas. And it's got Gracie's ears on it. Look at that. I love it. And she intentionally bought it in my summer color of navy instead of like gray or black or something. So it is a navy sweatshirt with Gracie's face and name on it. I am just, and you know what? It's real cozy too. My sister-in-law has a thing where she doesn't like buy like generic big box thing. She doesn't want to order from Amazon. She doesn't want to buy from Target. She wants to support small businesses. So she gets a lot of her gifts for people on things like Etsy and buys from, small people. So that's what this sweatshirt is. Kim, hello. It is good to see you. And Andy is here. I was a bit concerned because we didn't see you for a couple of weeks. I love that you guys noticed that. I love that you guys notice when a fellow community member is not here. That just makes me feel like we've cultivated such a great little community here, and it makes me so happy. It is very, very good to see Andy pop back up in the chat. I do feel we're one big family. I know. And that's what I love. That's why I love hanging out with you guys on Wednesdays, because we may be small, but we are mighty. And for me, it truly feels like I'm sitting down and getting together with you guys every week. And I love that. I really, really do. I'm glad you guys like my sweatshirt. Gracie would appreciate it. Kristen would appreciate it. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. Also, I have an update for y'all. Florence, hello. Welcome to the chat. So we're going to do a quick little makeup moment here. Notice the lips. The lips. The last video that actually went up on my channel was a live stream of me doing those wine lip stain things. I don't know if anybody watched it, but they're fabulous. I haven't used them yet again because they're so stinking bold that I have, like, when I've been filming or when I've been running around, it freaked out my husband to have such bold lips. And this actually looks bolder on camera than it actually is in real life. But let me introduce you to this bad boy. Is it going to focus? Is it going to? Yes, it is. This is from Ulta Beauty, y'all. It is $10. and it is like putting water on your lips. And y'all, it works so well. It's like that. Like I said, it looks a little bit crazier on screen, but it's like that flush of color. The one thing I have noticed is it adheres a lot better. I don't know if this is just me and my makeup. I have no idea. It adheres a lot better to my lower lip than my upper lip. So I paint on one layer on my upper lip, one layer on my bottom lip, and then I kind of fill in the main gaps in my upper lip again and let it dry before I do anything. And she cute. She real cute. I actually have a different color too. Let me. Oh, where is it? Here. I also bought this one. This kind of like wine red color, not like the bright red color, but the wine red color. Loving these, and they're $10 a piece, y'all. They're $10 a piece. So if you're wanting to dabble in some lip stains and the idea of the wine ones freaks you out, these are a great option. They have a couple other colors. Some are not in my shade. I picked the two that would fit me the most appropriately, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is the second day in a row I've worn this, and it has been my favorite thing ever. So, my friends. Oh goodness, let's see. I did that for most of my sister's gifts this year. I look forward to Wednesday every week. That's so sweet, Paulette. I think I'll pass. Understandable, Andy. I think that color looks great on you. I'm gonna get that. No, it's not. My lips feel great, and I can apply. Let's do pop a color here. Oh no, let's do an example. Oh, it's not drying, and let's see if it'll make a liar out of me. There's nothing on that. No transfer. It's lovely. It's lovely. Kim, you got to try it. It's lovely. Okay, friends, let's get right into our stuff. Let's share this week's highs and lows with one another. If you have anything you want to celebrate, no high is too low. No celebration is too small. I love to hear what the best highlight of your week was this past week. And then on the flip side, if you want to share a low with the community, feel free to share the not so great about your week as well. And if you are watching this on the replay, I still want to hear from you. Feel free to comment down below what your highs and your lows are for the week. Mine personally, we had small group for the first time in a long time for us because we missed the couple that we were in Florida. The timing didn't work out right, so we weren't able to attend on Zoom. So we actually went to our small group on Monday, and it was lovely. It was an absolutely amazing conversation, and it's just a really great. Well, it's mind-boggling to me how people who literally we don't hang out outside of it. We might be changing that soon, but we don't really know each other, but we've been getting together every 2 weeks except for the holiday season, and we share intimate things. We pray for one another, and it's just a great time. And the people who host us, they're home always. I don't know. I just feel so cozy when I'm there, and it's a really really great time. And a bonus high, we were able to get to that and do that event before the massive blizzard came through. So that's great. It was awesome. It was lovely. My low for the week is I had a questionable discovery call today, but that's neither here nor there. But we're in the middle of a blizzard, y'all. And it's really interesting. Blizzards are interesting. Like we have actually, it's not just like me saying, oh, the snow is falling, it's blizzarding. No, there's actually a weather warning for a blizzard. And y'all know how I love snow, right? Y'all know. But what's interesting about this blizzard is we already had one wave of snow that gave us, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches yesterday. And then there was a lull. This morning it was blue skies and sunny, but we knew the next wave was coming. And it was supposed to start around noon, started actually closer to 2:30. And it was glittering. It was like the finest grain of snow just kind of falling around the sky. And then the winds are gusting and kicking it up. And it feels not like a dramatic blizzard yet. We're supposed to get record-breaking snowfall, and my husband and I both don't see it yet. That's not to say that I'm not prepared. We made sure that we have batteries in case the power goes out and we need to run our gas fireplace. We have batteries that we can do that without the electricity. I went to Target multiple times the past week and made sure that we had everything we needed. So if we need to hunker down for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, we can do that. We don't have to leave the house. So we are ready. We are ready for the blizzard. Please pray for the safety of everybody with the blizzard, because it's sweeping across the United States. There are people in Utah that are getting the blizzard too. So keep everybody who's in the blizzard's wake in your prayers. That would be appreciated. But that is my low, because y'all know I don't like snow. So there's that. Let's see. My low is having a cold. Well, that's no fun. That's always a low. Nice to be back. His high is it's nice to be back. I'm so glad you're back. And my low is my back pain keeps me in bed. Oh yes. Oh yes. Small group might be my high too. Yes. Just being around actual people once a week is really nice. Yes. And that is absolutely true. We were actually invited. People in the small group said, we're having a movie night. And you're all invited if you want to come. My husband looked at me today. He goes, are we going to go to that? We should go to that. We were invited somewhere by people. We should go. So which is great and true. Like, seize the opportunities, get off the internet and go out and see people in real life, make friends in real life. It's really crucially important, and is something that we are actively trying to do as well. Eucalyptus for colds. Eucalyptus is great for colds. Yes. I do love snow. Oh, no, pass, hard pass. Clears my sinuses. Yes, absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. Okay. Where do I get that? I tend to use, if I need eucalyptus, I use eucalyptus essential oils. But what you can also do you have a Trader Joe's near you, Kathy? I've never actually done this, but all of the aesthetic YouTubers are doing it. They actually sell eucalyptus like branches. I don't know what you call them, but like it's literally a bundle of eucalyptus, and people have been tying them to their shower heads. So you just buy this bundle of eucalyptus from Trader Joe's, you tie it up to your shower head, and then when you run the hot shower, the steam activates the scent of the eucalyptus, and you have a eucalyptus scented shower. It sounds amazingly refreshing and lovely, and it's just something that I haven't done yet. Small group is my high. Everybody's digging small group this week. I love it. That makes me so happy. My lows, I've been kind of restless and unfocused and unproductive. It's a weird feeling. I go from running around busy but not accomplishing anything, or shutting down and disassociating. So what's your plan for that? What's your plan? Because I understand being in a funk, but the reality is action is what's going to get you out of it. And so if you know you're actively being unproductive, if that makes sense, what are you going to do to kind of hone in on that focus? Pick like a top 3 and knock those out, or something like that. Eucalyptus or a hot curry with tea. Oh, eucalyptus tea would also be good. Yeah, eucalyptus tea. There's also a peppermint tea is super good. There is I think it still exists. I haven't purchased it in a really long time, but one tea. First of all, I love Throat Coat by Traditional Medicinals. Most people hate it. It doesn't taste good. It's an acquired taste. I really like it, but I've been drinking it since my sophomore year of high school. But Yogi Teas, YOGI, had a tea called Cold Season. It's got a little bit of like a bite that, like, I don't know if it's black pepper or what, that hits you in the back of the throat, but it feels so good when you're stuffed up and you have a cold. It is a tea that I drink it and I'm like, I actually feel better. I don't know what sort of magic is in it, but it's very good for that purpose. It's not one I would go drink just out of pleasure, but for the functionality that it was made for, it works really, really well. When I'm in a mindset, often with food, I've done crazy things like shave my head and get right. So what sort of like calming thing can you do? Like, come back to earth. We know what our extreme reactions are. So what can you do? What is one singular thing that you can do to get refocused, you know? Something to think about. All right, my friends, the topic at hand for this evening is, so today's Ash Wednesday. Now, for those of us that are Christians that follow the liturgical calendar, not everybody who follows the liturgical calendar ignores Lent, but it is more of a liturgical calendar season. And actually, I'm not entirely sure if my church follows the liturgical calendar. They did have an Ash Wednesday service today, so I'm going to go with, yeah, they at least acknowledge it. But today's Ash Wednesday, which is the start of the Lenten season. And for those of you that don't know, Lent is the period of time between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday that is often used as a time of reflection and repentance and fasting. I put that in quotes, and I'll say why in a minute. For people to really reflect on what Jesus did for us, what God did for us in Good Friday and Easter Sunday, because that event is the pinnacle of our entire belief system. So the season of Lent happened today, or started today. And one of you typically hear somebody go, "Oh, I'm giving something up for Lent," right? I'm going to stop eating. One year, what did I do one year? One year I gave up coffee. Several years of my life I've given up chocolate. One year I gave up meat. I'm never doing that again. But you sense the common theme of give up, give up, give up. This is part of what fasting could mean. Fasting means to refrain from. And while we don't fast typically for the 40-day period of time, like exclusively, you've heard of like intermittent fasting. Fasting is a period of time where we are refraining from eating. But the act of fasting can be more than just refraining from eating. In the more recent years of time, I have grown to embrace the season of Lent as an opportunity, not necessarily just to fast from something, but to actually dive into something, embrace something, focus on something, add something in. And it's kind of a twofold situation for me this Lenten season. And for me, it really the reoccurring theme here, based on the title of the video and the thumbnail, is self-control. There are these things called the fruits of the Spirit. What about Shrove Tuesday, also known as Fat Tuesday? Yes, that was yesterday. And I didn't do anything. I didn't even think about the fact that it was Fat Tuesday until dinner time. Usually in years past, and I haven't done this for a while, when I went to my old Lutheran church that I grew up in, we had a Fat Tuesday pancake dinner every year. So every Fat Tuesday, we would go to church for dinner and have pancakes and sausage and syrup, and it was delightful. And even on the rare occasion that I wasn't home to do that, I would make myself pancakes and have pancakes. And I just completely forgot. I completely and entirely, it wasn't even on my radar as, oh, it's Fat Tuesday. Let's do something fat. Go get, the special treat, or go make pancakes. I didn't do any of that. I just didn't even think about it. So, for those of you that don't know, self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit. And the fruits of the Spirit, I actually wrote this down for y'all. The fruits of the Spirit can be found in the Bible in Galatians chapter 5 in the New Testament. And the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I'll give you one guess as to which one this girl is the worst at. My fruit tree is wilted in one of these areas specifically. And if you've been around for any period of time, you know exactly which tree that is. And there's a specific reason that this Lenten season I am focused on self-control, self-discipline, because it is inherently something that I'm very bad at. All these other ones that are here, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are days where my patience wears thin. There are times that, do I approach everything with love or with joy? No, I am not at all perfect. But in general, I'm good at love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. I'm very good at those things. Self-control, though, is a completely different story. So I love that Bible verse. Yes, yes. Cultivating the fruits of the Spirit is really close to my heart. And it's one of those things that I really remind myself of often. The fruits of the Spirit in a perfect world. This is what Christians live by. Cultivating the fruits of the Spirit. And what if we all cultivated these fruits of the Spirit? How amazing of a world would we live in if this was our goal was to cultivate these things on a daily basis. So self-control is my problem child. And it is a fruit of the Spirit. Self-control is actually like my sinful struggle is self-control, and that exhibits itself in my ability to spend far too much time on my phone. That exhibits myself in my ability to eat far too much food, or to overindulge in sweet things, or to give in whenever I have a craving for something. It's all self-control issues, and it goes a lot deeper. Self-discipline is another way I personally, and I don't know if exactly they're the same. Self-control and self-discipline, are they interchangeable precisely? I'm not sure, but in my brain they are, because I often talk about discipline as something that you need for success in all of your goals, right? You need to be disciplined, you need to do it anyway. And it is something that I struggle with regularly. So I am leaning into focusing on cultivating self-control for the Lenten season. And I'm very, very excited about it. It is not an easy task, but it is something that I know will help me. It is not just a focus for the next 40 days, 46 days, however many days it ends up actually being. It's 40 days and then like six Sundays. It's like 6 days a week are fasting and one is feasting for the Lenten season. But it's something that I want to focus on as a spiritual practice during this time, during this Lenten season, because I tend to be able to focus a lot better during this Lenten season because I'm focused on giving something to God, and use that to springboard into overall better habits and better self-control. So it's almost selfish in that it's going to help me with a lot of things as long as I lean into it. And my approach, of course, is going to be not just let me check the boxes, but it has to be a spiritual approach in order to cultivate the fruit of that spirit of self-control. It needs to be approached from the right mindset, and it needs to be approached from the right heart, right? It's not just about the to-do list. It's not just about, can I refrain from this thing, or can I control myself around this thing? It's about so much more than that. And so I thought I would share with you guys a little bit about what it was I was going to do for self-control. So the first thing, well, let me check comments first. We discussed this during small group. I'm patient with everyone else, but not myself. Ooh, that's a good one, Paulette. That's a good one, and something that we need to keep in the forefront of our minds. Are we also? It's easier to say we are affording all of those fruits of the spirits to other people, but are we also treating ourselves with that? Are we cultivating those things, right? Um, the funny thing about your title is that a while back, a new CEO, CWM, for a cultivate journal for each fruit of the spirit. I think it would be a good idea. My low intake got below 29 stone for 35. I have a hard time with self-control with food. I'm going to work on this. Yes. And it's about so much more than just saying, I'm going to work on this, right? How many times do we say we're going to do something? Say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I should start doing that. Oh, I need to start doing that, versus actually taking the action to do it. Stop and think about that for a second. When is the last time you said, you declared something on my live stream or to somebody else or in a Facebook group, I'm going to start doing this. I have a goal of doing this. Did you actually take action? Did you actually do something about it? Or was it just words that were in one ear and out the other? And if you feel called out by me saying this, and I'm saying it to myself as well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to feel called out by this. We are called to action. Action is where the success comes. You can say things all the live long day, but if you don't take action, literally nothing will change. And this is what I tell all of my new clients all the time, or people that I have a discovery call with. When people are like, where we interview each other at the discovery call, essentially, and it is an opportunity. And I will say this to people, especially people where I feel like they are holding out their hope that if they sign on the dotted line and pay the money for a coach, automatically all of their problems are going to be solved. And that is just not the case. The action is not, let me fork over money and sign a thing, because poof, then magically my weight will change. Magically I will hit all of my goals and I will meet my macros. That's not how it works. The coach is there to guide you along the path, steer you in the right direction. But what I do means absolutely nothing until you take action yourself. And it's the same thing for all of these things that we say we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but if we don't take action, Saying it means nothing, right? I did do the breakfast. Oh, good. Before taking my medication and drinking coffee. And how's that worked for you, Paulette? I do remember you starting that thing, and that's awesome. So, self-control. What do I have planned for self-control? Well, first and foremost, of course, we have the diet side of things, which this is the selfish version. Hi, Jordan. It is good to see you. So the obvious answer for cultivating self-control, how can I lean into cultivating self-control this season, is of course to lean into diet and exercise and the habits that will get me towards my goal. It is also very, very common for the fasting during Lent to be food driven, right? It's people often will give up sugar. Actually, so I think someone either here or someone I've spoken to recently is giving up sugar for Lent. And so it's a very common thing. It's a very common thing. So I decided to lean into that in terms of discipline and consistency with my plan. My Lenten physical fasting is, and remember, fasting is the to restrain from, or the behavior, right? It's my physical contribution to the Lenten season for my own personal spiritual growth is sticking to my macros. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Welcome. And in sticking to my macros, meeting my protein, making the food choices that sometimes I don't necessarily want to make, but I need to in order to hit those numbers. That is discipline. That is self-control. And it is self-control that I ebb and flow with, but in general, I have lacked, which is why I need to be on a weight loss journey to begin with. So that is what I'm doing, but I'm taking it a step further for the 40 days, and I'm actually doing kind of a bit of a fast, and it's nothing too extreme for me. But I'm also, instead of doing like my moderate macros, I'm cutting back a little bit and just docking a little bit on the calories to act as more of like this is a, feel a little bit more hungry, and like it's not like an unhealthy, if I'm ravenous I'm going to eat, but like when you're in a calorie deficit, sometimes you get hungry, right? It happens. Learning how to lean into that, learning how to lean into God spiritually, asking him for help, asking him for strength. And that's where the key to this whole it being a spiritual practice lies, right? It's not just, can I check the boxes? Can I meet my macros? It's when I struggle, and I struggle daily, to not want to have the extra sweet after lunch, to not literally 90 to, oh, so it ebbs and it flows. That's totally normal for fluctuations to happen. But whenever you want to stray from the plan that you've already pre-tracked, whenever you are presented with an opportunity that you don't necessarily like would be an unplanned or an oops or a snackcident or whatever you want to call it, leaning into God for that is super helpful. And it's actually super game changing when you start to do it, if you're a believer. And because of that, it becomes a spiritual practice, and it becomes a spiritual dependence on asking God for help with the self-control. I cannot do it by myself. I know I cannot do it by myself. I cannot do any of the spiritual, the fruits of the Spirit by myself. So it's on me to make sure that I'm constantly asking for help, constantly in a state of prayer, constantly leaning on the one who provides for us. And it's definitely a kind of a mindset shift to just go from let me check the boxes. So that's for diet. I'm doing a slightly lower calorie deficit than I normally would. Nothing 1,200 calories, nothing insane. No, but just a little bit more restrictive than what I would do normally, and that feels good. And then after the 40 days, 46 days, whatever it is, of strict diligence and discipline with my diet, I can reassess the numbers, see if what progress has been made, if any, recalculate and move forward, right? So that's the diet part. And what falls into that also is the workouts and the step goals and the water, and just checking off those healthy habits and being like, hey, can you be within control of yourself to actually do the thing you don't want to do? Can you be in control of yourself to drink your water Can you be in control of yourself to go and get your steps, even though you don't want to go get your steps? Today was rest day, and I did go downstairs and I hopped on the elliptical for half an hour just to get some movement and activity in, even though it was rest day. And Lord, and let me tell you, I needed rest day. I finally started lifting again after I don't even know how long. I think I lifted 3 times total, maybe 4. When Kristen was in town, we lifted together that week. So maybe 4 or 5 times total the entirety of the time we were in Florida. Which for me, I usually do 3 or 4 times a week. So it was quite a hiatus. And everyone's cheering you on, Andy. I love this. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I see your weight, that fluctuating your weight went down. That's amazing. Good for you, man. Good for you. I love that everybody's cheering you on. It makes me so happy. So that is working well. I no longer have nausea. Love that. So that's the diet side of things. And then there is part 2 of the self-control. And it is this guy right here. My precious, right? My phone. Y'all, I am so, I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you why this is such a struggle for me. I don't know. You lifted when you had someone to lift with. Yep, I did. My sister-in-law wanted to work out and she wanted me to do it with her, so I did it. I was most active while Kristen was in town. Yep, 100%. Because my husband couldn't work out because he had just had surgery. So it was me, myself, and I. And yeah. So the phone thing. I haven't quite figured out exactly the right methodology for this, because the problem lies in that I use my phone for my business, right? And I know I've said this before. So it's really hard to just be like, you know what, I'm going to delete all the apps. I'm not going to use them because I kind of need to. Use them. So it's a matter of putting in boundaries, and it's a matter of making sure I'm actually taking time to put my phone down. So I actually set a goal, and you'll see this in my goals video, but an actual goal I had for the month was 24 hours of phone-free time during waking hours. It's easy to do when you're sleeping, right? But what I do is I have this little app called A Tracker Pro. Let me see if, there we go. I'm making sure nothing incriminating is on my phone. Next to the Starbucks, can you see it? Will it focus? Not really. It's not going to focus on my phone. Oh, well. It's that guy right there, the purple one. It's called A Tracker Pro, and it is a task tracker. And so you fill it out with whatever tasks you want. So I have like a work, I have housework, I have errands, I have different things in case I want to track how much time I'm spending doing those things. And one of the things that I added was phone-free time. And now every time that I'm making the intentional choice to put my phone down, to put it away, to put it in another room and leave it there, I turn on the phone-free time timer. And my goal is to get at least 24 hours a week of phone-free time while I'm busy doing other things, right? So that is one. I also have to be very intentional about my usage of the phone when I am on it. I am a chronic scroller. I'm a chronic disassociator. I deleted TikTok a week ago, or pretty close to a week ago, because I was just like, I let TikTok get into my head. It either influences me to buy things, influences me to scroll for a whole long time, or it tries to tell me that I have some sickness because people are trying to be kind and say, these are my symptoms for X, Y, and Z in case you have them too. And then, of course, I think that I have these symptoms and think that I'm going to be dying of some rare cancer. And I was like, this is not where I need to be mentally. So I was like, you know what? TikTok has got to go. And I deleted the app a week ago, and I muttered the words today, I miss TikTok, but I really don't, because I've actually overall been on my phone a lot less because I'm not mindlessly scrolling TikTok. I don't mindlessly scroll Facebook. Instagram is what I have to figure out, because it is the one that I use, but it is also the one that has the potential to be the biggest problem. So for self-control, I need to set boundaries and stick to them, have the self-control and self-discipline to stick to these boundaries and put my phone down. Live in the real life, live in the now, and to the best of my ability, only pick up to the best of my ability. No, only pick up my phone to use the apps when I want to create content rather than consume content. So that is something that is also on my list of disciplines that I want to work on during this Lenten season. And then, of course, the most important one, without question, is being disciplined about my quiet time and spending time in the Lord's word and with the Lord every single morning. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I got up, I made some coffee, I took care of the dog, and I hunkered down in my chair and busted out my She Reads Truth Lenten Bible study, which it was hard today because the Bible study is actually for First and Second Chronicles. Y'all, I don't think I've ever actually intentionally read through First and Second Chronicles. It's literally a chronicle of the genealogy of like everybody. And then I thought, silly me, I thought a Lenten Bible study would start today. It actually started on Monday. So I discovered that I was 2 days behind. And so I decided that I was going to sit and I was going to catch up. So I did 3 lessons in one day. The number of names that I read in those 3 days worth of Bible study. Oh my gosh. And so and it was a bunch of names I didn't really know. Occasionally we hit somewhere in the lineage and I went, "Oh, look, I know these people. I've heard of these people. Oh, look, that's Jacob and his family. Oh, look." So I did that, but we're diving in for this season of Lent into the genealogy and the exile and God's promises even before Jesus was around, which I thought was a very interesting approach because typically Lent is focused on Jesus. And She Reads Truth is not taking that approach. I might actually go, and I have the what's the other company? Daily Grace Co's 40 Days with Jesus, which I also had last year. I might bust that out too, so I can do my Old Testament reading and a New Testament Jesus related reading as well. But it's so important. It's so important. And I sat and I did that. And then I came upstairs and I journaled. I started a new journal today. And this is my Lenten journal. And the way that I decided to approach it, I couldn't decide if I wanted it to be a prayer journal or if I wanted it to be like a brain dump journal. And I decided, why couldn't it be both? Why couldn't it be both? Why couldn't my thoughts on paper be a conversation with God? And so I conversed with God for 6 pages today, and it really just set the day up for success. And I was like, this is what it's supposed to be. My morning was slow. I felt a little bit behind, but it's fine because I didn't actually have anything that needed to get done in a timely manner this morning. And I was able to spend the time necessary with God. And that is something that somehow, some way always falls to the wayside because I get distracted, because I decide that I need to do something else instead, because, right? And that's enough. I need to have the discipline to start my day off in quiet time with God and in God's word. And that's really important. And so, in conclusion, for the Lenten portion of this video, those are the elements that I am leaning into this Lenten season to cultivate an overall growth in my self-control fruit of the Spirit tree. And hopefully what happens is I succeed with a lot of prayer and a lot of prayer and leaning into and focusing on the right things. And yeah, sometimes some sacrifice, especially when it comes to, I don't want to do it, or the diet thing or whatever. And being disciplined enough to do it anyway and prove to myself that I have the ability. I had the power all along, as Glinda would say, right? And I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm a little scared because it's going to be hard, but also that's what it's about. And then Easter Sunday rolls around and everything is glorious, right? Yeah, that's my thoughts on Lent. And I'm very, very excited. Very excited. So today was day 1. I succeeded. It was rest day, so I didn't have to challenge myself to lift. The lifting, I lifted on Monday and I lifted on Tuesday. I'm so sore. Like my core, I apparently did the core stuff a little too intensely. And we're talking, have you ever had the experience where your abs hurt so much that like when you go to lay down in bed or you sit back up in bed, like it hurts? That was me yesterday. It was rough. I was very grateful that today was rest day, but I still did some activity. And I was able to, in terms of checking all the boxes, I checked my boxes today and I feel really good about it. And so, of course, this is day one. So I got to wake up tomorrow and have the self control to do it all again. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let me catch up on some comments here. Let's see. How I lost 90 kilograms. I'll never. Yeah, that's calorie intake is how you do it. We all need to put the phone down periodically. I've made a few changes to my routine, cut back a little. Goals to log X hours of full free time is a good idea. Monday starts are great. I agree that Monday starts are great. There's an undated before you start page. Nice. Yeah, silly me. I should have looked. It was entirely my fault, but I should have looked. And I did not look. I did not open that book until today. And it's like, we start on the 20th. And I was like, oh, seriously? I feel so much better being with God and his word. That's a discipline I need for Bible study. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate you praying for me. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yes, but so I started lift 4, week 1 again. So I did week 1 chest and tries, which hurt. Dang. I don't know if it's because my chest muscles are just that weak or if it's because of the way I have to do things. Because like I don't execute the chest moves completely appropriately because I can't lift my arms up right. So like I use a bar instead. It's a whole thing. I don't know if it's due to my chest that I'm so sore or just due to, I don't know. But yes. And then yesterday was back and biceps day. I am doing lift 4 until March 6th. Is that the Monday? I think it is the Monday. March 6th. Lift more hits Beachbody On Demand on March 2nd, which is a Thursday. And I think that's dumb. Why would you put a plan that we all know everybody starts these plans on a Monday? Why wouldn't you launch it on a Monday? That's silly. But it's going to hit Beachbody On Demand on March 2nd. And so on March 6th, I am going to be doing Lift More if and only if my husband gets me that weight bench, because Joel Friedman, who's the instructor, insists. He goes, you cannot do this without a bench. It is made for having a bench. You need to have a bench. So I told my husband that I need a bench by March 6th. And he didn't say no. He knows he has to get me a bench. So hopefully after all of this snow nonsense is over and the roads are cleared, maybe next weekend or the weekend after, he can go out and get me a weight bench. And this is why you're perfect for this community, because did I absolutely think the same thing as I was saying it? Yes, I did. I refrained myself from saying because of the wonderful things he does. I literally had to stop myself when I said because. And that number of becauses came out because of the song. You are right there with me, Andy. I mean, come on. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? I mean, come on. Good. Kathy was there too. Yes. It was in my head too, y'all. Stress negatively impacts my self-control. When I've had a bad day, my decision-making isn't the best. I'm going to focus on managing my stress. Hopefully this helps cultivate my self-control. Lauren, that is an excellent observation and an excellent goal. And it is 100% true. You are not alone. On days where something bad has happened or I feel stressed or I feel tired, my self-control definitely wanes and it's a lot harder. So the appropriate thing to do for that situation is know thyself, know what your triggers are, know what's going to cause you to falter. And then instead of like, you can have contingency plans, but also it's better to like just try and prevent them instead. If being tired is the thing that Amberly, hi, good to see you. If being tired is the thing that causes you to lose self-control, then best to figure out how to get to bed on time so you get adequate sleep so you're not tired, right? If stress is the thing, what sort of stress management can you start to introduce on a daily basis? Things like that, because then you are less dependent on self-control, or you at least are ready for it and you have a little bit more control when you need it. So that's a great observation. You thought you were the only one. No, you were not the only one. Yes, y'all are my people. Y'all are my people. It makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, y'all. It makes me so happy. And yes, then I did proceed to quote Wizard of Oz again. Y'all, you make me happy. Thank you. Thank you for getting me. Thank you for getting me. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sleep. Yes, sleep is good. Sleep is the unsung hero of health, wellness, and weight loss, y'all. Sleep. If your sleep is whack, nothing else is going to happen. Sleep and stress. And I plan on doing a whole video on this topic at some point. But if you aren't sleeping well and if your stress levels are through the roof, your weight loss journey is not going to go the way you want it to. You have to get those two things under control first. You have to. And even if you're not trying to lose weight, you still need to get those things under control. Those are crucial ingredients to wellness and health, right? Not even weight loss. Let's take weight loss out of the equation. It's still crucial. I need to focus on rest and getting more sleep, trying to get to bed a little earlier on Tuesdays. I've already planned for an early night Friday. Should help with my weight. Yeah, sleep is important. Sleep is really stinking important. So important. All right. My Lenten conversation is done. We've got 15 minutes, y'all. It is Q&A time. Ask me anything you want. I do have 2 questions that were submitted on Instagram today. Let me check and make sure there's not a third one that has made an appearance, but now is your time to ask away. Ask what you want to know. Pressing questions, nutrition, health, personal, business, religion, whatever the heck you want. Whatever the heck you want. Do I have any new ones? Nope. Okay. So the first question I got, which is very interesting, but do you guys notice an increase in your energy bills? And at first I was like, no, I don't. But actually, it's kind of funny. Our energy bills, because we've been gone for almost 3 months, our energy bills are actually low because we haven't been here. So we have those automatic thermostats that like I can control from my phone. So we kept our house like cool enough where the heater wasn't kicking on all the time, but warm enough where nothing would freeze and break, right? So I got an email from Ecobee back at the beginning of January or middle of January that's like, here's how you did. I think it was the beginning of February. Here's how you did compared to last January. We were home last January. This January, we were not home. And there was a huge difference in our energy usage. In terms of the actual bill, though, no, I don't notice a huge difference. We always have electronics and stuff running, but we're not like excessive energy users. We turn off lights when we leave the room and things like that. We use things mindfully. And I usually, like, when the bill comes through on email, I look at it and nothing ever seems astronomical. So we don't worry about it too much. I see questions rolling in. Sleep isn't, huh? Get straight to bed as soon as this is over. I like it. How is your singing coming along? As a generalized statement, I don't know if you saw the one video, the vlog that I uploaded where I said I had a whole like concert for myself because everybody was gone that day. My singing was actually, if I do say so myself, and I don't say it to be a diva, but I still got it. In terms of singing at church, I just got scheduled for the end of March. So that's very exciting. There's a whole lot of changes happening at the church. So we're all now in like the big sanctuary room and it's a whole thing. So I'm scheduled for the end of March to sing there. And I actually have a goal of reaching out to my friend who had a lead on a choir that I might be able to join. That is not church related. It's a secular choir. And, I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get involved with that so I can get some singing outside of church happening, and performance opportunities and things of that nature. One of my goals is to get back on stage and find musical opportunities where I can. What is your favorite movie in the whole world? Do you know how hard it is? My husband makes fun of me all the time because whenever I say something is my favorite, it's never just one thing. I never have one favorite. I have like 5 favorites. And he's like, you can't have 5 favorites. A favorite is a superlative. You can only have one. My favorite movie of all time is probably Dirty Dancing. I grew up on that movie. Yes, grew up on. I watched that movie and had that movie memorized long before I knew what was actually happening in some of that movie. Did not know things like the whole abortion thing. Didn't know that that's actually what was happening until I was a teenager. And then it was like one day I was watching it and I was like, oh. But I've been watching that movie my entire life. I love that movie. It's probably my favorite. If you need more. So Dirty Dancing, if I had to pick one, it's Dirty Dancing. But like I also love Back to the Future. Those are the ones that I love Back to the Future. They're some of my favorites. Miss Congeniality is a favorite. I have so many. I know I'm not supposed to have so many, but I have so many. And then in terms of Disney, it's The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. What do you do for arm pain? What kind of arm pain? I'm assuming you mean nerve pain. And it depends. It depends really. I don't get, knock on wood, knocking on all the wood. I don't get too much nerve pain. What I tend to get actually is tension here because I can't straighten my arms out all the way. And so here, the joints here are very, very tight, the muscles around it. And so sometimes, especially if I've worked out a lot, I start to feel really tight. And it's like this tight ache and discomfort is what I get more than anything. And so what I will do for that is I'll take a massage gun to it, or I'll have my husband take a massage gun to it, or massage my arm for me to kind of help relieve some of that tension. Is one of the things I will do. Unfortunately for me, in terms of nerve pain, if I do get nerve pain, like something is shooting through my hand, I wait it out. I don't have like a painkiller or anything. I'm not on anything for nerve pain. So I just I wait it out and, massage it out and hope it goes away. Again, knock on wood, all of my nerve pain has been short-lived. So like I'll get like a shocking pain through my foot or through my toes or through something. And usually if I can move it, I can work it out and it's gone in a couple of minutes. Occasionally I'll get an ache in my calves that don't go away. And that's actually one of the reasons I might not, and I don't know, I'm not a medical professional, but I take magnesium on the daily. Every night before bed, I take magnesium glycinate. And on days when I'm feeling particularly achy or sore or in pain, I also use magnesium lotion. And my magnesium habit might be the thing that is preventing me from being in more pain than I am in. Actually, now that I think about it. Oh, that's very sweet, Lori. Thank you so much. What would your karaoke song be? My karaoke song is My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Why? It's overdone, yes, but I can sing it. And not everybody that tries to sing it can sing it. So I do that. And if you want to hear it, I think I have it. I have it on my YouTube channel. I sang it and I got like second or third place in a karaoke competition on a cruise ship singing that song. And it was such a fun and crazy experience. But it was so fun. It was so good. Kim, I see your thing and I'm going to get you a link. So yeah, My Heart Will Go On. It used to be when I was younger, it was Breathe by Faith Hill. You don't even hear about Faith Hill anymore. But it was Breathe by Faith Hill. That I can feel you breathe, just rushing over me, and suddenly I'm melting into you. Which now that I think about it, probably not an appropriate song for a kid to be singing, but I was good at singing that song too. So those are my go-tos. But I pull out My Heart Will Go On because it's easy. I have it memorized. Well, it's not easy to sing. It's easy for me. And I have it memorized and it's always available. I also will pull out Let It Go if the time is right. If the time and the audience is right, because again, it's a song that I can sing and not everybody can sing it. Shame about Pat. I know. I might have teared up when I found out he died. He was one of my first celebrity crushes. He was one of my first celebrity crushes. Him and the Green Power Ranger / White Power Ranger. Oh my gosh, may he rest in peace too. All of my first loves have passed away. Oh, that's so sad. But yes, oh gosh, I loved Patrick Swayze. He was just so handsome, and oh, he's so great in that movie. Love it. What is your favorite band? Gosh, I don't even listen to bands anymore. Um, does it date me too much to say NSYNC and Backstreet Boys? I was a total 90s girl. Guys, I was a total 90s girl. I was NSYNC, I was Backstreet Boys, and I was Spice Girls. I was Spice Girls. I also was O-Town for a hot second. I had their first album. If you want to kind of uh, clutch your pearls a little bit at lyrics that no high schooler should have been listening to, get the O-Town album. I sang all the lyrics, and again, I understood most of it, I think, but like listening to it as an adult, I'm like, this is dirty. And I got that album as a freshman in high school. Like woof. But I was a boy band girl all the way. Even now, one of my favorite artists now is actually Ed Sheeran. I really enjoy listening to him. I don't know what took me so long to get on the Ed Sheeran bandwagon, but I did, and I like him a lot. I really like his music a lot. Um, and and then I listen to like praise and worship bands as well. Life Flow magnesium lotion. Trying to get that link for the magnesium lotion for y'all. Oh, they've changed their packaging? Fascinating. I haven't, this is not the packaging that I have, but it is the right brand. So we're going to go with it. This is the brand that I use. It's the brand that I've always used. So to answer this question, magnesium lotion brand suggestion. There is your Amazon link, my friends. It is called Life Flow. Life FLO. I buy it on Amazon. It is not all that expensive. I believe, let's look at the listing. If it smells like vanilla, it smells like vanilla. Unless they changed it. What am I looking for? There we go. Pack of 8. Oh, this one says there's an unflavored one and there's a vanilla one. Unflavored. You don't eat it. Do not eat the lotion. You put it on your body. I have the vanilla one. It smells like it triggers, scent memory where like you have a toy or a food or just something that transports you back in time. For me, this lotion smells like one of those plastic toys, like a you remember those scented like strawberry shortcake dolls? That's kind of what it smells like. There's something in that vanilla scent. It's strong and it triggers that emotion in me. It transports me to my childhood and I couldn't even tell you why. It smells like some toy from my childhood. So I don't hate it, but it could be very strong for other people. It's really good. It's really good. Magnesium is something that it turns out a lot of us tend to be deficient in. And one of the quickest ways to get it is actually through your skin, which is why Epsom salt baths, because that's all that is magnesium, are so effective because you're literally getting it through your skin. So for me, whenever I'm feeling tight or tense or even nerve pain, I will rub it especially on my calves, because that's where I tend to have the most opportunity for electricity or nerve discomfort or muscular discomfort is in my calves. I slapped some on just last night and it helps tremendously. I'm a big believer in the magnesium lotion. I also take magnesium glycinate as a pill every night. My go-to karaoke is Everybody Hurts. Nice. I went to a local restaurant, had karaoke, and sang that song. I was training to be a medic. I didn't know that about you, Andy. That was my daughter's favorite band. NSYNC Forever. Yes, yes. I'm staying at my daughter's and she has Patrick Swayze poster. Oh my gosh, seriously? That's amazing. I refused to listen to these bands back in the 90s. Oh man, they were so good. They were so good. Rammstein. I have never heard of Rammstein. What are your thoughts on the American Girl? So after you said this in the Discord channel, Lissa, I looked it up. I immediately went to the American Girl website and I clicked on their historical dolls, and their newest dolls are a set of twins, and their historical date is 1999. I about died. I about died, you guys. When I was a kid, Molly was the most recent doll for a long time, and she was 1944. Wait a minute. No, we're not there yet. But oh my gosh. I thought it was hilarious. It was my childhood. So these freaking kids, I went and I looked at all the accessories associated with these 1999 dolls. The smiley faces and the aliens and the purple inflatable chair. I had one of those. I was like, this is my childhood in American Girl doll. I couldn't even believe it. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe it. Seriously, you still have yours? Does it still smell? Does it still smell? Taking magnesium at night, yes. Belting out songs from Guns N' Roses and Beastie Boys. I love it. Paying attention to lyrics and thinking, whoa, that's illicit. I know. The stuff that my dad would play, because he listened to classic rock while we were kids, and now I hear the lyrics, and I'm like, dang. Oh my. All of it. But then, of course, the boy bands were doing the same thing. I was like, it's just all been dirty. All of it. Oh, all of it. Oh my goodness. I want to, before we leave, it's 8:00, but I do want to answer the other question that was submitted on Instagram. And it was another CMT question. In regards to your CMT, how do you keep from becoming discouraged with your exercise and lifting routine when you are limited due to your disability? This is a really great question. Really great question. And it's like it's kind of a mismatched answer, because part of me is like, oh, it's really easy because I just it's my own level of progress, right? So I need to not compare. It's wildly important that none of us compare our journeys to everyone else's, right? Someone's chapter or your chapter 1 is not going to look the same as someone else's chapter 17, right? And that's that. So like staying in your own lane is super important. It is excruciatingly important for me to do that, because if I start comparing my lifting numbers to everyone else's, I'm gonna get down on myself. I lifted and got sore from 4-pound dumbbells this week, y'all. 4 pound. That's a step back. I decided to lighten the load and not just jump back in where I left off. And so I cut my weight, and I'm still sore. I'm still sore and tired and fatigued. And let me tell you, it was a little bit discouraging, because I was like, by yesterday, I was in so much pain that I was like, how the heck am I going to be ready to show up for myself and do shoulders on Thursday? Thank God it's shoulders, because I actually like doing shoulders. So I'm more motivated to do it. But oh my gosh. And thankfully, after one day of rest, I slept, and I didn't do any lifting today. It was just casual movement and whatever. I am feeling better. I'm feeling capable of being able to do things tomorrow, provided I go to bed on time and get quality sleep. But it's one of those things, like, you can't compare. My husband and I were doing the same workout program yesterday and today. And so, yeah, and I didn't know he started lift 4 over either. So when he's like, oh, back and biceps day, and he's been working out upstairs and I've been working out in the basement. And so I heard Joel lift 4, back and biceps circuit. And I was like, oh, I did that today too. And so today we were talking about the amount of weight we lifted. And he's like, oh yeah, I cut back and I used 20-pound dumbbells and then went to 15s. And I was like, I lifted with 4s. Did the same moves, and like he literally lifted 5 times the amount of weight as me. And if I let comparison sneak in, then bad things would happen, because how dare I, a disabled woman, compare myself to a fully functional male? Like, in what mind is that a reasonable thing to compare myself to? I can't even compare myself to anybody else with CMT. Our journeys are so wildly different. I have no one to compare myself to. So there's that. And the flip side is, in terms of like, I would probably, honest to God, be more discouraged if I was losing something. And like right now, I actually do feel like I lost something. I definitely feel like I lost progress because I took such a hiatus. But in general, it's if I went weightlifting and all of a sudden 1-pound dumbbells were too much, then I'd be discouraged. But I know in my heart of hearts that I lost a little bit because I got off track, but I'm getting on track so I can build back up. But it's just so important that I just stay in my own lane. And it's the advice that I give all of you all the time. Stay in your lane. Don't worry about what people on Instagram are doing. Don't worry about what your neighbor is doing. Don't even worry about what your brother or sister or parents or daughters or whatever are doing. Focus on what your journey is. And if you are working with a coach or working with whatever, it's only about what you and your professional who's alongside you say, that's it. That's it. If you're working with a trainer, just focus on what your trainer says for you. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's. I know it's hard, but it's necessary. And that is what keeps me from getting discouraged, because I know at the end of the day, what I'm doing is good for me. And what I'm doing is going to help, hopefully, prevent the progression of my disease in some way, shape, or form. So it's worth it, even on the days that are hard. And yes, there are days that I might not be able to do the workout as planned because I'm just so sore that it doesn't make any sense, or I'm just so tired that there's no physical way I can do it, and I need an additional rest day, and that's okay. Sometimes that sucks, especially when you like break your streak or something. But in general, you just gotta kind of accept your limitations. Don't let them be something that holds you back unless it has to. Like, I'm the person who believes wholeheartedly, like, let me try it first, and then if I can't do it, I can't do it. But don't just assume I can't do it, sort of thing. And the same goes for weightlifting. Let me try to lift the 7-pounders. Nope, that's too much. Let me go back. Does that answer the question? I hope that answers the question. I wanted to make sure I addressed that. Such an important piece of information. Don't compare. Yep. Yes, absolutely. Super important. Comparison is a killer. Yes. Thanks for coming, Paulette. It's good to see you. Do I want to know your weights for what? Like what you're lifting? 75 kilograms? I don't speak kilograms. I'll have to punch that into a converter. I'm so glad, Lori. Tell me about you in a split second. I know there's a delay and I know we got to go. Do you have CMT? Does your husband have CMT? I'm glad you found me too. I just like to know why people find me. Because there are some people on here that found me for weight loss content. And then there are people on here who find me for CMT content. And I love when those two worlds converge and we're all just one awesome community. But I love knowing the history of each individual that comes and hangs out with me. So let me know. And if you don't want to tell me on here, shoot me a DM or something on Instagram and let me know, because I'd love to hear how you found me. Because I'm glad you found me too. Closest I get to comparison lifting is from a place of gratitude, knowing a little about your struggles makes it harder to phone it in. Yes. I can do the moves, so I need to do them to the best of my ability. I love that. That's what I thought. You have CMT. Welcome. I am so glad you are here. I'm so glad you're here. I love all of you, but I have a special place in my heart for the CMTers that find me and stick around. Because I talk so much about health and nutrition and all of those things. And I think it is wildly important, especially for everybody, but especially, oh, didn't see that coming. When you were looking for shoes. Fabulous. I don't think I've ever talked about shoes on my channel, but I'm so glad that you accidentally found me anyway. That makes me so happy. Dang, Andy, 165 pounds. Heck yeah. But I love that because I talk about all of this health and nutrition, I love making sure everybody gets the message, but I love especially, I want to get people with CMT the message too, because a lot of people with CMT give up. And I don't want to encourage anybody to give up. I want you to do the exact opposite. I want you to keep on living. I want you to do your best. I want you to move your body. I want you to feel your body well. And I want you to kick this disease in the butt. Because while we cannot 100% prevent the progression of this disease, and everybody's case is different, we can do our best to slow it down. And what I teach here is something that can help with that, I love that you found me looking for shoes. That's so funny. All right, friends, I have kept you way longer than I have intended. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. It has been a joy to talk to you guys this evening. I'm going to let y'all go. Take care. I will see you the same time next week. Have a wonderful night.